Hi, I'm Elena. I am going to be taking you through a little ab series using a little ball. It doesn't have to be super firm. I actually like when it has a little bit of squish, but you can use whatever you have that's accessible. And then we're going to find ourselves lying down on our back today. Okay? So we're going to lie down all the way on our back. We're going to start with our feet in a tabletop position. The ball is going to come up against your right thigh with your right hand. Left hand is going to come behind the head. And just start by curling up and squeezing into the ball. So you want to find connection through the right hand and that right knee, and then release back down. And then we do it again. Inhale, exhale, curl up and squeeze. And then you release and you lower back down. Inhale, exhale, squeeze, and then release and lower. Now on your next one, you're gonna curl up. You're gonna roll the ball up towards your right shin, and you're gonna roll it back down. So we're extending the right leg. So we curl up and we squeeze, and then we release. And I like to keep that tension through the palm of the hand and through that leg the entire time. So we're sending energy out through both ends of the body on the right hand and the right foot. You should find a little bit of steam waking up through the belly, and then you're going to pull it back in. Exhale, we squeeze in, we lift, finding that gentle hold, and then soften down. And then on your next one, you're going to start to extend the left leg out. So now you're in an L shape. From here, you're going to pull everything back. Take that inhale, exhale, curl up and hold, finding that L shape, and pull back in. Now, if this layer does not feel good for you, you keep that left knee in tabletop and you just stay with that second variation of rolling the ball up and rolling down. Thinking of keeping a little bit of space between your chin and your chest so we're not pulling on our neck, but we're really using that upper abdominal wall to help us lift up and lower back down. We're gonna stay here for another 3. Exhale, we squeeze and lift and pull back in. For another 2, squeeze as best as you can and back in. Last one, you're gonna hold it. Now, a little funky, we're gonna pull the right arm down as we twist towards that ball with the left elbow. Push the ball back up, untwist. We roll the ball down, we tap, and we untwist and we reach. The left leg is gonna stay in a hover the whole time. If you're like, that's really challenging, just drop that foot down. You can also always bend it back in a tabletop. Really find a tap on that ball if you can with that opposite elbow. We exhale, squeeze, and we twist, and we come back through center. You have 3 more. Squeeze and twist, 2, squeeze. Last one, you're gonna untwist and hold, pulse the ball up, rolling it up towards that right ankle. You have 4. Exhale, 3. Keep the tension, 2 and 1. Pull everything back in. Oh, you should definitely feel your belly. And then we're gonna rock the knees from left to right, just releasing your low back for a moment. And then from here, go ahead and take the ball now. And we're gonna place it in between our ankles for a moment. Hands are gonna soften down by your sides. Take your feet, flex them. And then you're gonna take an inhale. You're gonna reach the legs out on a diagonal. And then you're gonna pull those feet back in. So when we flex to the feet, you're gonna push to the back of your legs. You're squeezing in. And if you've ever been on a reformer, I want you to think of like your feet being in your straps as you squeeze out and you pull back in. So we're finding lots of connection, not only through the belly, but through the back of the legs, through those inner thighs that we hug on the ball. Now, if you want to add those toes pointing, you press out, you're going to point the toes at the end, flex your feet and pull everything back in. Inhale. Exhale, you're going to squeeze and pull everything back in. And find lots of length for 3. We're pulling in. Exhale, squeeze for 2 and in. And last one, you're gonna press out and hold. Just flex and point those toes, keeping the legs straight out and away. Inhale and exhale. Breathe here, keep softening your ribs down and in towards the back, melting the spine down long. Maybe you go a little bit lower, maybe you stay higher if that feels better. Keep pushing through the back of the arms for 3. Squeeze 2. Last one, can you hold those toes pointed? We squeeze on the ball. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Finding those little pulses, hugging the inner thighs together. Find that deep connection through the low belly of 4. Inhale, squeeze 3. Inhale, squeeze 2. Last one, you hold. Reach the legs up to the sky. Now float those legs back down and flex the feet. We point those toes, we squeeze up. And we float and we lower back down. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, we float. If the breath starts to bother you and you're like, I don't know which one to float and exhale on or lift and squeeze on, just breathe. Just try to breathe through your body. We're not holding breath. We're going to keep bringing oxygen into that movement. You're here for another 2. Squeeze and lift. Last and final one. Squeeze and lift. Now on your next one, can you lengthen your legs straight out and away? Point and flex those toes again. Point and flex. Point and flex. We're still squeezing the ball in between your legs. Find your navel pulling down. Heavy lumbar spine, protecting the low back for 3, 2. Hold those toes pointed. Squeeze the ball. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. You really using those upper inner thighs. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull your knees back in. Oh, okay. Take the ball out. Rock your knees from left to right again. And then we're going to repeat everything that we did on the right on the left. So your left hand is going to have the ball up against your left thigh. Right hand is behind the head. And both legs will come into a tabletop position. From here, you're just going to inhale. Exhale, curl up. Find that contraction. Squeeze on that ball on that left side. And then release. Inhale. Exhale, curl up, squeeze. And we release. We find that gentle hug on that ball. So not only are you pushing in with your left hand, but you're also pushing in with your left thigh. We want to find that deep contraction, not only just from the upper abdominals, but the lower belly as well. Inhale, exhale, squeeze and reach. And lengthen. And squeeze and reach. Now on your next one, start to extend that left leg, rolling the ball up towards your shin and then roll it back down. We do that again. Exhale, rolling the ball up and then we roll it back down. We inhale, exhale, lift, pull it back down through center. Reach and squeeze. Exhale, belly should definitely be quivering at this point. And reach and lengthen and pull back in. You're here for another 3. And squeeze. Then we're going to add that right leg out. And 2. On your next one, you're going to extend your right leg out. We're in an L shape. Now you roll the ball back down. Pull your knees into tabletop. We do that again. Rolling the ball up. And then we pull everything back in. We exhale, roll and extend. And we pull back in. Send energy through both sides of your feet. So lengthen one leg long. Lengthen the other leg up tall. For another 2. And then we're going to find that twist. Last one, we hold. Now roll the ball back down, twist towards that ball, and then untwist. The right leg stays in a hover. We twist to tap, and we reach back up. Navel is pulling down, twist to tap, and then you pull back up. You are almost there. Squeeze and breathe, and pull back in. Exhale, squeeze and breathe, and back in. For another 2, we're almost there. Keep that breath. Last and final one. We reach up and we hold and we pulse. And pulse. Keep sending energy through those legs. Let that help pull you up. You have 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Woo. Okay, we drop those feet and we release. Oh my goodness, that should definitely feel like a big activation. Okay, just take the ball. You can bring it on top of your shins, hug your knees into your body. Let's curl up into a tight little ball. So we're going to look towards your knees. And you can just kind of start to rock yourself up, rolling like a little ball. If you can balance with your toes away from the mat, great. If not, you find your toes touching, and then we're going to scoop back into the belly and roll. Just finding a little bit of pressure on the ball so you can help roll yourself back up. Keeping your spine in this flexed position, trying not to extend. And last one. And then you can just take your feet down. Oop, I'm to the front of my mat, so I'm going to slide back. And then you're going to take the ball and you're going to place it underneath your shoulder blades. This one will feel good in the beginning. You're going to take your feet flat down. Hands are going to come behind the head. Let's just extend back. So find that big extension. Inhale here. This should feel really good after all of that flexing through with the ball. And then from here, as we inhale, we're going to exhale to tuck our chin into our chest, curl up. Think of lifting away from the ball. You don't actually have to. It's just to find that deep connection of the ribs pulling over to your hips. And then we extend straight back. And then we exhale, squeeze, and we curl up and pull in. We inhale. And then exhale, squeeze. So I want you to find this resistance against the ball. Find that nice extension as you go back. And then curl and contract into that flexion. So before we were just finding that neutral spine to that flexion as we were on our back. Now that we have that ball, we can push that range of motion and go back into a little bit more extension. You have 3. We inhale. We exhale, squeeze 2. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze last one. You're gonna hold. Keep this lift of your chest. You're gonna pull your right leg into tabletop. And then you're gonna start to float it back down. Left leg's gonna come into tabletop. And float back down. And then right leg. Sometimes I like to reach my arms long. It helps me lift up and away from the ball so I don't feel like I need to drop down. It's also taking a little bit of tension out of my neck. So if that feels like an option for you today, go ahead and take it. Otherwise, you can keep your hands behind your head. That makes it a tiny bit harder. Just try not to grip into your traps and your neck. Really use the belly. Now, if you can float your leg up, hold it there, whether it's your right or left. And then we're gonna switch through center. So I want you to use that deep core work here that we fired up before, and you're just gonna alternate toe tapping, squeezing and breathing. You have 4. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze 3. Try to keep your chest lifted. Maybe start to float your hands behind the head, 2. And last and final one, bring both knees into a tabletop position. From here, it's gonna get a little bit more of a challenge. We're gonna step the toes down, open your chest back, curl up and squeeze together. Maybe your toes don't go all the way down, and that's okay. And squeeze. If you're like, that's too challenging, one foot taps as you extend, pull back up. So we're just challenging the low belly with that upper abdominal crunch as we squeeze and breathe. Otherwise, you're gonna stay with both feet going down. Inhale, exhale, squeeze for 2. Inhale, exhale, squeeze last one, reach the arms long, and we pulse and pulse. Maybe you start to lengthen up into that teaser option, squeeze and squeeze. You have 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Pull your knees in, drop those feet down, let your chest and your arms open, and just breathe here for a moment. And take another inhale. And then let's go ahead and I like to sometimes take my hands onto my belly and just kind of massage the stomach for a second, just kind of pulling the abs apart. And then maybe just breathing into your hands for a moment, connecting to that breath if you've lost it. And taking one more inhale. And then gently start to tuck your chin in and then take yourself up and away from that ball. Let's just come onto our hands and knees. We can face towards that ball, so you can just leave the ball exactly where it is. I'm just gonna give you a little stretch. So you're gonna open up your shoulders again and relax the ribs and the belly. So you're gonna keep your knees about hip width distance apart or a little bit wider. And you're gonna roll out and away and just find that nice stretch through the ball. So you're just lengthening out. And then from here, you're gonna scoop through your core, round into that nice flexion of the spine, really stretching into the shoulders and your neck, and then rolling that ball back out and away. And then you're gonna scoop through your belly. And then you're gonna lengthen back out and away. Last one. Exhale, scoop. And then reaching back out. Maybe just hold it. Just take a nice inhale and exhale again. Relaxing the chest down. If child's pose feels better without the ball, you can use that too. And then you can gently just release that. And you are all done. That is your little ab series for today. It's great to add on to a workout or after you do maybe some glutes or upper body. And then maybe you'll join me next time. Bye.